Hello and welcome to this Long Island weather alert. We got freeze warnings in effect after a lot of wind today, and definitely needed a wind advisory today. Looking at some of the wind gusts out there, and you could see the instability clouds that developed. We had a few hours of clear skies, and then we had a mix of sun and these instability stratocumulus clouds that were in the sky. Let's talk about those wind gusts. Needed a wind advisory today once again. Um, Bayville and Nassau County gusted to 53 miles an hour. Not going to go over all of these. They had a gust of, mainly the Long Island ones will go over, 58 miles an hour. That's the top of Stony Brook Hospital. But Shirley gusted to 52. Fair Harbor and Fire Island gusted to 51. Islip Airport gusted to 44. And White Plains Airport gusted to 49. And it was pretty windy in Jersey, too, I'll imagine. We'll go over the winds there a little bit, but Manhattan downtown had a wind gust of 53. So yeah, wind gusts over 40. I mean, there should have been a wind advisory today, no question about it, and there wasn't. Once again, you have a freeze warning in effect for these areas here, where it's been warm enough in this area here that there's been some blooms going on, and some of the budding trees could be damaged in this area that you see in the purple here. So we got a freeze warning in effect as well. Looking at our current conditions outside, it's pretty cold out there. 37 degrees, dew point 17. We'll look at the day at Islip, and we'll show you what we had at Islip. So we had, again, cloud cover in the afternoon for a little bit there, though we did have a few hours of clear skies, except from 10 to like maybe 1 o'clock. We actually had some clear skies, but the winds were pretty bad. The winds were gusting pretty high, as you see here. Temperatures were only in the mid 40s today, so it's as warm as it got. And we did have rain in the morning, so we'll go over the rainfall as well that we got. Show you what it was like at Farmingdale as well. So here's Farmingdale. They had a gust up to 40, so not as bad. I guess a little further to the west. You could see a decent amount of clouds around again. It was a decent day. Wasn't terrible with the cloud cover. 36 degrees at Gabreski Airport. I don't think there's going to be radiational cooling tonight with these winds. I think they'll be staying up all night. So 36 over there, 37. So at Shirley, really. So we'll go look at the high temperatures that we got up to today. Mid 40s across Long Island, upper 40s in New Jersey, and the lows are probably the current temperatures. That's what we've got going on right now. We'll look at Miller Air Park and see how they did today. They got up to 48. They only had a wind gust of 40, so maybe a little bit less wind over there. And the wind is only west-southwest at 6 miles an hour, so it's possible they could get radiational cooling over there, maybe more likely than here if the winds do go calm, because those dew points are pretty low. So looking at the radar, you can see, again, snow. There's snow in Maine from this big upper-level system again. You can see that trough that was generating the clouds today. We're in a squeeze play between that and high pressure over here. We'll go ahead and we'll look at the current satellite as well. We'll just take a little bit of a longer loop. So again, show you that storm there. This is the whole storm here that was stalled out and brought us all that severe weather, the flooding, and that they're still dealing with in the Mississippi River Valley, and the dreary weather we had to deal with. Just show you what it looked like outside today. Again, we had a mix of blue sky in between the clouds. See the blue sky there in between the clouds. It was a pretty looking sky, even though we had the clouds around. I wish I could have did go to Twin Lakes this evening, but I didn't really go to the Pine Barrens. That's going to be tomorrow. These are the clouds we had. So decent amount of clouds around, but the wind was really kind of difficult to stand up out there. Some of those gusts could knock you over, for sure, especially earlier on in the day, for sure. Let's go to the weather map, and we'll look at the weather map here. Just show you what we have going on. So we're in the squeeze play. Here's that low. Here's your high pressure Arctic air. Again, probably the last Arctic air mass of the season, so enjoy it. For those of us who like that cold weather like myself. You can see there's that high pressure building down. The flow's coming from eastern Canada. Good air quality. And again, we've got that frost. So this is what we've got to watch out for here for tonight. Freeze warning, actually. And I think most areas are going to get below freezing. So that low moves away, the high moves in. Tomorrow will be the nicest day of the week with mostly sunny skies. And it'll be less windy and maybe a little bit milder, but it'll still be below normal. Yeah, well, speaking of that, we'll just look at the climate statistics for islip for the day. A high of 47 and a low of 41. 3 degrees below normal for the day. The high was 8 degrees below normal for the day. Month to date, 0.99 inches of rain. So, let's see, how much rain fell? Just says trace. Okay, so we just had mainly light rain, I guess, in the morning. Just showing trace rainfall. But you see that high building down, Arctic air coming down. So that high will give us a nice day tomorrow, but then as quickly as it comes, it moves away, opening the door for the next system for Thursday. And this is going to be your next weather alert here Thursday, late Thursday, mostly Friday. We've got a trough that's digging down, and there's going to be a low that's going to bring us rain. Friday night into Saturday, it's going to linger around, and it's just going to get cut off. And it's going to kind of sit there for a little bit. That low right there, you see it's just sitting there, and that's going to give us kind of a crappy weekend. Unfortunately, another crappy weekend with the stalled out low again, unfortunately. Europeans probably the same way. Show you the European. Yep, there's the rain, and you're going to be dealing with it all day Saturday. And even Sunday, look at that. It actually strengthens it offshore again, and we get more rain on Sunday. This is what the Euro has. So 3 days being stuck inside. This is going to drive me crazy. So, that's what we got. And I will show you the upper air just to show you what's happening. Well, here's what you got. You got this trough here, so I'm going to just take this out a little bit more so you see what's going on. So it's too bad we didn't have a block in Greenland, because if we did have a block in Greenland, it would have kept this here, and that storm would have just been pushed to the south. Ah, man, that would have been great, but that's not what's going to happen. There's another trough that digs down, sits over the southeast, and cuts off, and that's the problem that we're going to have for the weekend. And GFS is a little bit further east with it, but pretty much all the models agree on this particular setup, which really sucks. And that's our next weather alert. So we'll go and look at the HRRR, which we should have fully in now. And we'll first show you the dew points and wind flow, just to show you again the Arctic air that we've got in. Northwest winds, west-northwest. They might die down in New Jersey, perhaps. And then we have an even drier patch of air coming in through tomorrow. So dew points could get even lower. And the winds go lighter tomorrow, and then they eventually become south by the evening. That sets the stage for the milder air that's going to be coming in on Thursday. Well, it won't be milder, but it'll set the stage for bringing in the moisture eventually. But the air Thursday still looks pretty dry, so hopefully we'd be able to eke out a dry day. So we can stack together maybe 3 dry days in a row. Imagine that. Tonight, temperatures are going to drop below freezing everywhere. And if there's radiation cooling in the Pine Barrens, can't rule out some upper teens there. Otherwise, it'll be mid to upper 20s for a lot of us to around 30. And then for tomorrow might be a little bit warmer. It looks like it's showing upper 40s to around 50 degrees, so maybe a little bit warmer, a couple more degrees, but that's still below normal. That's still well below normal highs in the mid-50s now. And then tomorrow night won't be as cold with the southerly wind coming in. And then for Thursday, you can see it still stays rather cool, mid-40s with the cloud cover around. Increasing, maybe inland in New Jersey, it gets warmer. So we'll take a look at some soundings now for tomorrow. And this all looks pretty good. That's Long Island, and we'll show you also Jersey. They're pretty much similar. Good dry air. Should have nice clear skies, not much clouds tomorrow. And then as we head to Thursday, that's when we'll be seeing more in the way of clouds. We'll take you through, go to the worst of the models here. We'll go to the European, show you what's going to happen. So You see what happens Thursday, and then you see what happens here Friday. So we got an easterly flow. It's going to be cold. So it's not going to be warm. It's going to be cold, but you've got all this warm air that's being advected over the cold air at the surface, which is going to bring a lot of rain. But we stay in the northeast wind all the time. So that's going to keep us in dreary drizzle. And it looks like it will be kind of windy because the Euro does seem to deepen this system quite a bit. As you see there, it gets pretty deep. Here we are into Sunday night and the Monday, and you can see that system's pretty deep right there. So it's a deep low, and that could mean some winds if the Euro is correct. Now, because of that wind flow, the temperatures are going to be cold, staying cool. So Thursday, obviously not cold, and then Friday, it also won't be that warm. 40s, maybe close to 50 in Jersey, but below normal. And then cold Saturday. I mean, it only has 30s. And with a setup like that, you got to wonder if some areas upstate could see some snow out of this thing. And then Sunday also staying cold with that system offshore. This is the European again. So if we look at the precipitation on the European here, we'll go back to the HRRR in a moment, but we'll first start with the European. It keeps most of Thursday dry, but here we go into Friday. The European slows the rain down, so it actually keeps most of Friday dry until we get toward the evening. And then we have the rain throughout Saturday. And then you can see even a little bit of snow up in the mountains upstate there. And then what happens is Sunday, we get a low that kind of develops and pushes the rain back into the area. So if we look at the amount of precipitation from this whole thing here, a lot of rain, 1 to 2 inches probably, and perhaps even more than that in some areas. This is what the Euro has. Now I'm going to go over to the GFS. It's also pretty high as well. It's just the timing is different, but it's still the same idea pretty much. Same idea. The GFS not quite as low with the dew points, not quite as cold. Brings that warmer air a little closer to us, which could mean more thunderstorm activity perhaps. Gets close enough. This is just the dew points to show you where the warm air is. So let's go to the FGen just to show you this. Kind of shows you where the lift is, so you can see where that is. So yeah, there's heavier rain on Saturday, and then we'll do another video about this system for sure. Here's the European again. So the Euro brings the lift in overnight. Not the craziest amounts of lift, but it could be more than that. It could wind up being more than that. We have to see for sure. And definitely going to be dull. Let's go to the HRRR next. Back to the HRRR and look at the HRRR. And it looks like it does fortunately keep most of Thursday dry until we get toward the evening. That's when some light rain could develop. So that is our next chance of precipitation. That'll be our next weather alert. Let's go and just for the heck of it, we'll go to windy.com. And just because this does show the European, and I want to look at Sunday the 13th with the wind. See these wind gusts because it looks like it's got a pretty strong storm out there. Doesn't look too crazy. Weird. All right, so it doesn't actually look too crazy. Looks like the storm is further offshore. This must be a different run of the Euro. All right, here's Sunday. I don't see anything too crazy, but wind, we'll have to watch that. And obviously, if we look at visibility here, yeah, you see that rain over mainly the eastern part of Long Island. So we'll have to see how that all sets up. But obviously, Saturday, you're going to be dealing with sucky drizzle all day, even if it's not raining. And then Friday, you're going to be dealing with rain, obviously, overnight. So it's going to be a crappy weekend. So enjoy the just dry time we have now. And that is going to wrap things up. Good night.